Hello, welcome back to the second episode of this Crusader Kings example gameplay pseudo-tutorial thing. In between this episode and last, we've just been waiting for our levies to regenerate, but our claim on Ossuary was fabricated, so we are now sending our Chancellor to Leinster to get us a claim on the second half of the duchy, because then once we control both of those, both of the duchies, we will be able to get much closer to forming the Kingdom of Ireland. And as I said during this episode, our primary goal is to conquer Desmond to our south, where we have that de jure claim. But there are some matters of sort of internal affairs, I guess you could call them, that we will be attending to after me from the past somewhat pointlessly looks at various menus. We could be getting more troops from our vassals. This one vassal, the mayor of Nanag, however you say it, I don't pretend to speak any sort of Gaelic at all, so however you say it, he does not like us. And a lot of that reason is partially because we're a tyrant, but a lot of it's because he is a foreigner. And he's not of our culture. He is Norwegian culture, which means he dislikes us a lot. And to remedy this problem, we're going to have him assassinated. And then, hopefully, he will be replaced by someone of Irish culture. So we are inviting all of the possible plotters to the plot. And there they are. And I think we can eventually get up to almost 200% plot power. Pretty close, 181. And that means there's a pretty good chance of it firing. Generally, if you have any plot power above like 70%, you'll start getting events about, yes, someone's going to put your plot into action. And 181 means, hopefully, we should be able to finish this up fairly neatly. And now we just gain some cash from our steward, which is very nice, and we are going to use it to upgrade one of our holdings so we can get some more troops. And I opt for the sort of quantity over quality choice of taking the militia training ground to get more troops, get us up to 100 additional levy. What follows after this is a relatively uninteresting series of events that don't have much of a bearing on sort of the final outcome of anything, really. So I think I'm just going to cut until something interesting happens. And now we are checking how many troops Desmond has, and he's got about 200 more than us, a little less. So I opt to not go to war with him at this point, because they currently outnumber us, and our plot is about to possibly succeed. And then we'll have another vassal who doesn't hate us quite as much. And of course, the plot was revealed and failed, because the RNG is just not in our favor. And now we're going to try killing him with poisoned wine. Maybe it'll work this time. And as a result of the plot being revealed, that one vassal really doesn't like us very much anymore. Well, even more so, because we tried to kill him, which is understandable, but no one else really cares. We don't take any penalty with them, which is what I was indicating by sort of looking around at all of those various opinions, and we failed, but the random number generator was not in our favor. Well, I mean, as much as failing can go well. Sort of failed elegantly, as it were. And now we have gained a claim on Leinster, which is great, because it means we now have claims on the entire duchy, so if we were to conquer both of those counties, we could theoretically create the second duchy. And after some deliberation, hence the cut, we have redeployed our Chancellor to Connacht to have him fabricate claims there. Sorry about the abrupt cut. And now Desmond has about 1,350 troops, and we have about that many as well, but we also have our Danish allies, who may come to our aid. It would, however, be worthwhile to check if Denmark can come to our aid. However, looking at their wars, they're currently involved in a war with Sweden against Norway, so I'm gonna say declaring war on Desmond at this point, when we can't call in our Danish allies, might not be the best idea. And then we have yet another attempt on our target of this plot. So we shall allow them to attempt to kill him by poisoned wine. Take 2. Now we shall wait to see if we succeed, and we have... Once again, we did not succeed, but the plot was not revealed, so... Could have been worse. We have 210% plot power. We have yet to succeed. We have no luck with this guy. Yes, we're going to invite this guy to the plot for an extra 20% plot power. Because having this plot over with would just be nice. Poisoned wine, take 3. Let's see if this goes any better. And now these are fully regenerated, so we're just gonna ignore the Danes. I don't think we'll need their help, and we shall declare the war and call them in. I don't think we're going to need their help too terribly much. Of course, saying that, I already know what happens. So, yeah. And we don't want to attack from Thormond, because there is a river crossing between Thormond and Desmond. And we succeeded in our attempt. Fantastic. And now we are going to check this new mayor, see if he's of our culture, and he is. And most of why he hates us is because of our short reign penalty, but that goes away over time. So now we've gained all of 2 troops from this mayor. Was it worth it? Maybe not, but assassination. And we're going to try and improve his opinion of us by giving him an honorary title, just appointing commanders. none of whom are us. And we are actually defeated in this battle for some reason. I'm not entirely sure how that happened, but it did. Just sort of luck of the die roll. And now we have a choice from this event where we can either gain some piety and get a later event, which may do something interesting, or we can just gain a trait that gives us prestige and piety for a little bit. But we opt for the former. And here I am dismissing my levies, and I'm going to re-raise them so we have a few more troops, and we are utterly crushed by the armies of Desmond. And we also gained the Scholar trait, which gives us a bonus to our learning, which is kind of nice. Not really important, but nice. And our son, if you recall, he is betrothed to the daughter of the King of England, and on January 1st, they can marry, which means we can call the English into our war. And that would enable us to win the war without having to wait for all of our troops to regenerate, which could just take a while, and would like to be avoided. So we are going to call them into the war, because now they may marry. And we can either gain gold or prestige, and no, I don't remember what I pick here. We're going to find out. In this case I went for the gold, probably because I don't have very much gold at this point, so every little bit helps. And the English joined our call to war, which isn't surprising, given that England didn't really have anything else going on at the moment. And you can see over there they've raised all of their troops and are sending people to help us. And here you see why having strong allies is really important, because when you lose a war like this, well, lose an important battle, we haven't lost the war yet, when you lose an important battle, it's good to have someone else to rely on. One of our relatives wants to be married. We can't really gain anything out of this marriage because he's not close enough related to us. So we just pick someone relatively at random just for their traits, for their stats, and such. And the English have deployed 8,000 troops to help us in our war. Once again, the importance of having strong allies. And then the English will hopefully return and help us with our siege. Now we see that we have almost 12,000 English troops supporting us in this siege. Well, 13,000, I misspoke. So we shall wait for the siege. One of our prisoners is complaining, so we shall not heed his complaints. And we are going to besiege the holding because we have more than 10 to 1 troops, which is generally where you want to be for assaulting a holding. And most of those troops are English, so we're not taking any losses. And we're besieging the next holding because we don't have quite enough war score to end the war yet. And now we have, and the war has ended. And we have now vassalized this earl. And forced him to join us. He doesn't like us very much at the moment, so we're going to try to raise his opinion of us. Something about going to war with him. For some reason, he wasn't too keen on. So we're going to send him a gift and raise his opinion of us and give him an honorary title. Make him our cupbearer, try and get as much opinion with him as possible. We're getting a small amount of troops. We can definitely manage more, though, once we can raise his opinion. All in all, I think this is a pretty good stopping point for the video. We've managed to expand our realm a little bit, and I think when we return, we shall attempt to conquer the county of Ossory.